Order accepted.
Scouting is not only one of the most essential skills in Starcraft 2, but it is also one of the main components in making Starcraft 2 fun. If you find that in pretty much all of your games, you're either easily destroying your opponent or your opponent is easily destroying you, it's probably because you aren't scouting. Or you don't know what to do with the information you have scouted. If you want more close games and fun experiences, if you want to know why you're losing, then it's time to learn how to scout. When your opponent attacks, defend. When your opponent defends, expand. When your opponent expands, attack. Write it down, put it on your wall, tape it to your monitor, say it to yourself before you go to bed and at stoplights. This is where scouting begins. When your opponent attacks, defend. This works because of something called Defender's Advantage. Imagine two players that go for identical builds and have identical execution. Let's say at 4 minutes, each player has 5 Marines. One player decides to attack and send those Marines across the map, and the other player decides to defend. By the time the attacker reaches the defender's base, the defender has made 4 additional Marines and now has the advantage. The best the attacker can do is have their 4 additional Marines on the way to the battle. The defender also has the advantage of static defense, like bunkers, cannons, and spine crawlers. These are very powerful, but have one big weakness. When your opponent defends, expand. If you see your opponent building a lot of static defense, expand. Remember that StarCraft is a game of resources. If they're investing resources into things that cannot attack you, like static defense, then they cannot afford to spend resources on things that can attack you, like units. This means that you can expand safely. Taking an expansion is a long-term play. You're investing resources into the structure and the workers to mine. It will take a while before that investment pays off and you can use your new expansion to create a bigger army. That gap in time before your investment pays off is a moment of vulnerability. You could have spent that money on a bigger army or defense. And so, when your opponent expands, attack. If you can, it's best to hit your opponent right in that moment of vulnerability. A good time for this is attacking just as the expansion building finishes. A great time for this is just as the extra workers being transferred from the other bases arrive. This is when you can do the most damage. Sometimes you'll miss this window of opportunity, arriving early and your opponent cancels the expansion, or arriving late and your opponent managed to break even on their investment. Both of these scenarios are still beneficial, but less effective than the first two. Above all things, scout. Send out units, scan, use your worker after your first supply structure, spread creep, use overlords, scout your base, scout their base, keep an eye on all the expansions. You want that minimap lit up like a Christmas tree. Green lights because you've got units everywhere granting you vision, red lights because you've been poking at your opponent and you know what they've got. You may not know what it all means yet, but by watching your replays and thinking critically, you'll begin to understand not just how to scout, but how StarCraft works as a whole. My name is Jack Attack, and as always, thanks for watching. If you have an idea for a video you would like us to do, please leave it with any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with the letter C in the comment section below, and we'll see you again soon.
Order